Hey, it's Forward Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and
sex.
And today, the topic is posture precedes words in game.
Yes. Great title. Did you just come up with that? That was hot.
No, we've said that like 3 times so far. But I did pull it out of thin air one day. Posture precedes words. Because as CHATEAU taught me, and I pass it on to you, your posture conveys everything before your words do.
Yes.
The words are actually kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
You know, we've even talked about that and tested it out where girls really don't know what you're saying.
No.
It's how you look, not necessarily good or bad, looking, but your posture and the way you deliver it matters more than what you're saying.
Yeah.
And the outcome is,
Well, the way you carry yourself through life, and we used to be taught this, I feel like, more so than kids and adolescents are now, which is why your basic training book is a good one. But the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself, and the confidence with which you do it makes all the difference in the world in the way that people perceive you.
And that's a good point, because this is where posture, I put it in basic training 1, and it's going to be in basic training 2 too. But there's certain elements to game that involve your posture, standing up straight, keeping your head up, chest up, slower movements. And I don't mean like slow motion, but you kind of practice. Slow your movements down, walk a little bit slower, fractionally slower. And even some of the guys that have picked this up already said literally the change in women's attitude towards them was nearly immediate.
Yeah.
And my classic story that when I hit puberty at like 13 and I was like in 8th grade, and literally it was like instantaneous. I was like brushing my hair, and then all of a sudden I was like, I cared about what my hair looked like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, I was like, what is going on?
Mid hair comb.
Yeah, exactly. Like, literally, I was like brushing, and then I like realized it's like I showed up.
Yeah.
I was like,
suddenly you cared what your hair looked like.
I'm actually combing my hair. But I said, I want to start attracting more girls.
Yeah.
And I thought, I need to walk cooler.
Yeah.
And that's that. I remember walking down the hallway, remembering that this was something I had thought about that I was going to do. And I straightened up, kind of put a bit of this is around Saturday Night Fever years, kind of a hip, to my walk. Basically the same pep walk I have now. But, just more aware.
Yes.
And literally within a day or two, I was getting more attention from girls.
Sure.
It was literally instantaneous.
Night and day.
Yeah, I mean, because men are very much feedback guys.
Yeah.
If you don't see any change in people, if you don't see the outcome, especially when you're younger, you're just not going to do it. But literally it was within a day that people acted different, and reacted different. Because that's what happens as they start. The way you carry yourself affects the way you feel about yourself, which will affect how people treat you.
Right.
So it's top down. So power poses, slower movements, eye contact, minimal smiling, contrapposto, which is a certain way of standing.
Yeah.
And think of like Michelangelo's David. Weight is on one foot, the other knee is out, the hips are tilted, head up, chest up, shoulders are back. It's a relaxed but powerful pose. And there's a reason that Michelangelo carved him in that pose.
Yeah.
It's the most powerful masculine pose. And you see other men hold it too, naturally.
Yes.
You hold your drink low. That's how you stand at a bar. It's a powerful pose, and women don't know why, but they respond to it favorably.
That's right.
And it works on a subconscious level, and you need this stuff working for you.
Well, when I'm looking at someone standing in that pose, And I will say, I think you have an important point. His attractiveness, his actual like physical attractiveness doesn't even matter so much. It's his confidence and his comfort with himself. When you're looking at someone as a female standing in that pose, they look like, number one, they if you want to talk to them, great. But they will have plenty of women talking to them, even if you're not that one. So you kind of want to be the one who's talking to them. They look relaxed and open to conversation. There are a lot of men and women who kind of carry themselves in a more rigid fashion, and it's unapproachable. But there's an aloof indifference to this look, and so you can tell that it's almost a challenge to women. If you can get their attention, then they're winning. So this pose is a very attractive pose. It's open, it's available, but it's also very much in control and incredibly sexy.
And if you ever doubt any of the things that we tell you, what she just did as a female was simply by looking at a guy who's running game, standing in a certain manner, she's now competing for his attention.
Yes.
How many men have women competing for his attention?
Just by standing there.
Just by looking at him.
Yeah.
No words have been shared.
Right.
But everything she says, you can see by the countenance on his face, if you were to walk up, he'd smile.
Yeah.
Or grin. And entertain your attention.
Yeah.
It's amused
entertain
mastery.
Your attention is a good way to put it.
Amused mastery.
Yeah.
Because he's used to women, much like children.
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to play with her.
Look at me.
I'm going to toy with her.
For sure.
Yeah, entertain you.
For sure.
That's
good. And you can tell that anything that I say, if I trip up or if I'm giggling or if I'm nervous, he's going to have just the right little thing to say because he is in a relaxed way. He's not rushing. Yeah. He has kind of the bandwidth and the time to find girls amusing.
Yeah.
And to toy with them a little bit.
It's good. And it's all unconscious.
Yeah.
And it works. It works like nothing else. And that's why posture precedes words. And it works. And we'll leave a link to a couple pictures that you can see probably on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
One of the Twitter tweets. That I have used these before.
Yeah.
But again, it's little things like never put your hands in your pockets.
No.
Always have your hands open. Hold your drink low. No fidgeting, and relatively keep your vocal tone low.
Yeah.
No girls ever went out with Pee Wee Herman. Not as Pee Wee Herman.
Exactly. Well, and I do think it's so fascinating because, again, the slower movements, there's something very sexy about a man who moves deliberately and speaks deliberately. Mm-hmm. Whenever men move in a rushed fashion, are always in a hurry, can't seem to calm down or slow down, and speak quickly and urgently all the time, it does turn into more of a high-pitched. It's hard to take anything that you're saying or doing seriously, but if you're moving more deliberately and speaking more deliberately, what you say and what you're doing must matter.
It matters. And you can do this. I mean, you can even test this out on dates. Because that's where I started testing. It was like I literally slowed down how fast I moved my drink to my mouth, how fast I moved my upper body, when I was sitting with her.
Yeah.
And you'll get a change in mood.
Yeah.
Because I would catch myself. I'm a normal person too. When I first started dating again, I would talk fast.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty high strung as it is.
And you probably don't want any quiet, any downtime.
No.
So you're filling air time,
But when everything slows down, it gives you space. And she relaxes.
Yeah.
Into the conversation. It works. But again, posture precedes words in game. It will give you a upper hand in interactions. And all this is in basic training 1 and basic training 2.
Yes. We suggest you pick those up today and start utilizing everything in them. Because again, we say it a lot, you don't know what you don't know. And oftentimes, unless you had a really great masculine, almost Playboy mentor that took you under his wing, you don't know a lot of this stuff naturally.
No, if your dad wasn't a player,
yeah.
If you never had like a buddy, like I had a buddy who, I was like 13, he was 16, he had a Corvette, and cruising was the thing where I grew up. He realized I was a good sidekick.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was young and tan and attracted girls, but didn't really know what to do with them yet.
Yeah.
You know, so he took me along.
I love it.
And so I got to see him.
I'd like to
operate.
shake that man's hand right now.
But I got to watch him.
Yeah.
And watch him, you know, easily talk to girls. Easily, you know. Just all of them. They were, and entertained himself while talking to them.
Exactly.
Never took him serious.
That's a big deal. Yeah. And that's what, contrapposto? How do you say it?
Yeah, contrapposto.
That's what that does without a word being spoken.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's great.
If you like this, please like, subscribe, share with friends. This is an important lesson for really all men. So make no mistake, no matter where you are in your life, if you haven't mastered this pose or this skill, now's as good a time as any. We want you to win. Bye!